I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about trust and truth in relationships.
The two T's, they're very, very important.
They're critical.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very difficult to trust somebody if they're dishonest with you.
Right.
And if you've ever tried to date somebody or be in a relationship with somebody or even be friends with somebody who lies, it's really hard to believe anything that they say,
right.
Get close to them,
right.
Open up to them, and be vulnerable to them.
Right.
And I've had friends or people that I've known that turned out to be pathological liars, and so I had to cut them out of my life because I couldn't trust them. They probably betrayed me numerous times that I had no idea about.
Sure.
And, of course, when I confronted them, they just lied to my face.
Of course. I didn't do that.
Yeah. No, I would never do that to you.
I would never do that to you. No.
So, it's really important that you understand this, and we're going to talk about this today.
Okay. I'm going to start by talking about the truth. And the truth and communication kind of go hand in hand. It's hard to lie if you're not communicating at the time. And the first rule is don't keep secrets from each other. There are no little white lies. Okay? They're not little or white most of the time. Okay? So communicate with each other. Don't keep secrets. Keeping secrets has a way of coming back to bite you even if it was a little white lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that little white lie turns into, well, if this person lied to me about this, they could lie to me about bigger things.
Yep. So I want to share, I talked with two people in the last several weeks, more than two people, but these were two in particular I was thinking of, in the last several weeks who have had relationships end by keeping what originally looked like a little thing secret. One person had been talking to 2 or 3 different women on Facebook, and somehow his girlfriend found out about it. I don't know how. Nor am I brilliant with those things. They were people, he said, that he had really known since junior high school and high school, and they were all working on planning some kind of a reunion, and there was nothing romantic involved of any kind.
Okay.
Okay? But his girlfriend didn't believe that, and I said, well, why didn't you tell her in the first place that you were talking with these people from your past? She might have been interested in that. And he said, well, I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't have the words, and I was afraid she'd get jealous, and I didn't want her to get mad at me. Okay, so he didn't tell her. And so he said, well, he was in a bad situation. What could he do? If he told her, she was going to be mad at him. If he didn't tell her, she was going to be mad at him. I said, if you did tell her, you would have ended up better off in the end. So the lies always come back to get you.
They sure do.
The other instance was around somebody not having told a potential partner that he owed a whole lot of back child support. So people end up getting in trouble for things they didn't tell people because they were afraid they would get in trouble. But had he told her that he owed, a whole lot of money in back child support, she might have been angry at him and been unhappy, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world that not telling him caused.
Yeah.
Okay? So tell people the truth, and if they can't handle the truth, then they can't. But you don't want somebody who can't.
It's going to be worse if you don't tell them the truth because they're not going to believe you after that.
Yeah.
It's better that they get angry about the truth than angry about a lie.
Yes, much, much better. And I mean, yes, you're taking a little bit of a chance, but if you're going to have any kind of a relationship or even a life together, you got to have people you can tell the truth to.
Absolutely.
Because lives built on lies are nothing but trouble. Okay? Now, trust. Trust is the other big one. Truth and trust. When I talk about trust, people immediately think of partners cheating on them, and it's really much more than that. Trust is earned by keeping your word and being reliable. If you say you'll be there for someone, you need to keep your word if you want them to trust you. Before you even think about saying, I love you, a whole lot of communication really should take place. Because you can't love somebody you don't trust. And if you haven't known them long enough, you know.
How could you trust them?
Right. You certainly have to know the basics of your partner's life story and growing up, and they need to know yours. Those are basic things. Every once in a while I talk to somebody who says, not often, but every once in a while, oh, I have no idea. And I talked to somebody not long ago in my office. I said, well, what was your partner? Your partner was married before. What was that relationship like? And he said, I don't think I listened that well when she was telling me about that. Not a good idea. Okay? Listen, you need to know somebody's life story. It's also necessary to share personality traits and all those funny little quirks and warts that we all have. And even the parts of yourself that you don't like that much. You're going to have to share those if you want to have a real relationship, and that requires trust. So there's no having a relationship without it.
Of course, you don't want to do that right away.
Oh, no? Don't you want to know my whole life story now?
You got to ease into it.
Thank you for saying that. Yes, trust is built over time. Thank you for saying that.
Well, some people on the first or second date will tell you their whole life story, and you're like, I don't even know if
You're right.
Got a good vibe here yet.
But I remember a client I had once who was a very lovely woman. She had the most awful trauma history you can imagine. And she kept saying, I make friends and I only see them 3 or 4 times before they walk away from me. And it didn't take me too long to figure out she was telling them her life story, which was very much a bummer. So, I mean, you'd have to be sure that you were in a relationship where these people were getting something back from you and tell them a little bit at a time. And I think she was overwhelming people, which was unfortunate because she would be a good and reliable friend. So, yeah, you can't reveal yourself at all. But trust takes time, okay? And sometimes when the hormones are there, it feels like love and trust, but you got to take your time.
Oftentimes we start to trust somebody because we feel good around them.
Yeah.
But are we feeling good because
good.
Are we feeling good because they repeatedly treat us well, or are we feeling good just because our brain is just hijacked by dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin and all those good feelings that make us feel good around this person, and we just naturally assume, well, this person is trustworthy because I feel good with them.
Yeah. And I can think of someone I worked with at one time. I ran a broke agency that had no money at all, and everybody was after us for money. And I had a business manager who, for all the troubles we had together, I never ever saw a day she didn't greet me happily in the morning, and I'll never forget her for it. Okay? So I could trust on going to work. I would have kind of a secure base that this person would always say hi, and then we would deal with the 21,000 problems that we had. But she was reliable, and that's what we're talking about, being trustworthy, reliable.
She was a secure base.
Yeah, she really was. That's what I said. She was a secure base every morning. But that takes time, remember. And as Craig said, it doesn't just happen in the euphoria of the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah.
You reveal yourself slowly. Lots of times when people drop out of therapy, it's because they've revealed themselves too fast. Even though we're trained to kind of slow you down so you don't overdo it. It often happens. All right. And if you want trust, try empathy. Okay? What we mean by that, empathy is literally putting yourself in the other person's position. And if you have that for people, they will readily learn to trust you. Okay? So-and-so was a little annoyed at me. My partner was a little annoyed at me today, and I don't know what was going on. Let me put myself in his or her position and see how he or she might have felt about how things were for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And it will usually give you an accurate answer. But it takes a little time and thought to do it.
Oftentimes we feel so quick to defend ourselves.
You're right.
that we don't listen to what they have to say and put ourselves in their shoes.
Right.
We just say, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Or you're exaggerating.
Yeah.
Or you're
Yeah.
hey, maybe sometimes they are exaggerating, or maybe sometimes
Yeah.
you didn't do that. And you know, I would say that avoidants tend to exaggerate or
Yep.
distort reality.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. But if you know where your partner is coming from, you can't go wrong. Sometimes I think, I didn't think of it exactly the way you said it, and you're absolutely right. The other thing is we're so anxious about what we're going to say next by way of defending ourselves often.
I didn't do that.
I didn't do it. Yeah. There's an ad on TV where the guy gets the kids together and they're all denying eating Cheetos, and he has a light that lights up all the Cheeto crumbs. And they're all saying the same, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you always have to consider where your partner is coming from when they're opening up and talking to you about things. You don't want to have to negate what they had to say, or say, you know, that's not true, you're wrong, you're always saying I do this, and defending yourself without hearing what they have to say and where they're coming from in the relationship. You gotta be open to that, even if you don't like hearing it. And it can be hard. It can be really hard for somebody to be attacking what you're saying or what you're doing or your character and not defend it.
Yep.
But the healthier you are, the more secure you are, the more likely you're going to be able to say, well, you're right, that is true, I did do that, and I can understand why it bothered you.
There you go. It's the I can understand why it bothered you, that's the magic, you know. And you go back and you say to the person, now here's what I heard. I heard that you get really annoyed when I'm crabby on Sunday nights when I don't want to go to work on Monday, you know. Yeah.
And the other thing that you want to consider is how trustworthy and truthful your partners are with other people. How do they treat friends? How do they treat their parents? How do they treat their siblings? How do they treat their boss? Because if they're quick to lie or deceive or, you know, make things up to go their way, manipulate, they're going to be more likely to do it with you as well.
And sad though it is to say, there are some people who really private, intimate information that you share and use it against you.
Oh, yes.
And if anyone does that, it's bye-bye. That's a true betrayal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a betrayal.
All right, so it's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But hopefully that will help give you some insight and for some thought into those areas. Because it's really important that you are trustworthy and truthful with your partners if you really want to be somebody's best option.
That's right. That's right.
To get our help personally, just go to my website, AskCraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching. I do Skype coaching. If you got to get with me right away, I do offer emergency Skype coaching. Margaret is also available for Skype coaching.
And I'd love to hear from you, and oftentimes some of you talk with both of us, and that's great.
Absolutely. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.
Hi, I'm Coach Margaret, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist with 35 years experience. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me to get professional help on your situation. Go to AskCraig.net to sign up for a personal coaching with me.